More firms are entering the crypto market, building their own products and services. Coinbase Crypto as a Service, or CaaS, helps institutions build digital asset products. Now, it does support scalable, regulated crypto products for retail and institutional clients. And joining me to weigh in on the infrastructure enabling institutions to move on-chain is Brian Foster, head of Crypto as a Service, ETFs, and government at Coinbase. Brian, Happy New Year. Great to have you here. Thank you so much for joining me.
Same to you, Remy. Thanks for having me back.
Well, first and foremost, Crypto as a Service. Can you explain what it is and why you're focused on it?
Sure thing. The Crypto as a Service business is really Coinbase's version of infrastructure for crypto. And so we really do two things at Coinbase broadly. We deal with first-party clients, which are retail and institutional clients, and we provide services to them and face them directly. Separately, in the infrastructure business, we work with financial institutions and help them build their own crypto products for them to acquire clients of their own. And this is what Crypto as a Service means.
And you and I were just talking about acronyms. So Crypto as a Service, or CaaS. So how is this actually helping institutions integrate digital assets? Walk us through this.
Sure. I think today we're very proud to work with more than 260 financial institutions around the world through this business. And it's really grown out of necessity, and Coinbase has responded to demand from the market, where many of these financial institutions like PNC, JPMorgan, Citi have come to us and said, hey, Coinbase, we would like to be in this crypto market. You've been doing this a long time. Infrastructure is hard. What do we need to know? And can you provide us with a combination of advice and products to help us build great products for our own clients? And so that's really been the genesis of the business. And today it's growing nicely and a major focus for the firm.
And I do want to ask you what institutions are saying when it comes to crypto financial solutions. So what matters to institutions right now?
Sure. I think if we were having this conversation a few years ago, the aperture of what they're interested in at the time would have been a bit narrower, right? Mainly centered around native crypto assets like Bitcoin and ETH, and access to those assets as a new financial asset class. That in and of itself is an interesting secular trend that's very much still underway today. But if you fast forward the tape to today, we also now have the advent of stablecoins, right, which is an entirely new payment rail that benefits from these open source global blockchain networks, and also the theme of tokenization, which I think of as really the upgrading of the rest of the portfolio, the traditional securities, et cetera, portfolio, to put that portfolio on blockchain rails as well. So you really today have three major themes in access to native crypto, stablecoins and stablecoin enabled payments, and tokenization. And so these are the conversations typically that we're having with our large institutional partners. They center around those three themes.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up, because this is the time of year that we're looking ahead, not just at the year ahead, but also the decade ahead as well. So what impact do you think all of these themes will have as we move forward?
I think they have had, but an enormous impact, but that impact is going to continue to grow. And what's interesting about these three themes is that they're at really different stages, I think, of their maturity and adoption. Really, the Bitcoin and native crypto play has become much more mainstream. We now have this huge success with the ETFs, major asset managers involved in the space, as well as traditional financial institutions. Now the largest global banks are getting involved as well, and we're very happy to be partnering with them to enable that. But I think when you look at maybe the newer trends of stablecoins and tokenization, these are huge multi-billion-dollar markets that are ripe, we think, for transformation. And so we think overall the trend is just going to continue to grow, and you will have the payment service providers and fintechs in the payments world embracing and using stablecoins at a much wider scale than they are today. And certainly with tokenization, this means that all of financial services who is concerned with that rest of the portfolio is going to be embracing this trend as well.
Yeah, and finally, Brian, before I let you go, institutional adoption has been a key theme that we're watching for as we head into 2026. But as all of this shakes out, what are your expectations? And I know you have a lot of conversations with institutional stakeholders. So in a nutshell, give us the key takeaways.
Oh man, I think this year we're really focused on, in these conversations with clients, getting them to scale. And some of the largest institutions that have maybe been watching over the past few years to really activate for the first time. So we're not in the infancy of this market, we're somewhere in the middle, and it's really the build out and the scaling phase. And that's a very exciting time to be participating in the market. There's a lot of work to do, and we have to help these large institutions build.
And you mentioned scaling, and of course, there's a timeline for that, but how do you think all of this will play out, and what are you most excited about?
What I'm most excited about of those themes right now is how quickly the payments trend is really growing. And so the non-bank fintechs, the payment firms, are understanding that this is an opportunity to have a more global client business by using these global open source rails and stablecoins in a new way. But also, I think the folks who have a stake in the incumbent systems are recognizing that they need to participate in this new thing as well. And so solving challenges with them around interoperability to take advantage of these new tools is a major focus for these market participants.
And finally, before I let you go, for retail investors who are watching this right now and they're wondering what this means for them, what would you say?
I think it's a very exciting time to be a retail investor. You have obviously the growth of crypto as an asset class. You have really exciting trends happening in the equities markets, and of course prediction markets as well now. And Coinbase has told the world recently in our product showcase that we're really embarking on this mission to be the everything exchange. And I think in our first party business, we're really endeavoring to support that entire client portfolio and meet retail clients where they are. And through the infrastructure business that my partners and I look after, we're trying to help existing financial institutions embrace that same strategy and meet retail clients across the portfolio, including crypto.
Well, great having you here today. Thank you so much for joining me, and thank you so much for sharing all of your insights as well as perspectives.
Thanks very much.
Thank
Great
you.
to hear.